Hi, and welcome to Ignite. It's great to be with you all today. As Judson mentioned, we're going through a period of historic economic, societal, and technological change. But for all the uncertainty we continue to see in the world, one thing is clear. Organizations in every industry are turning to you and your digital capability to help them do more with less, so that they can navigate this change and emerge stronger. You are the change agents who make doing more with less possible. Less time, less cost, less complexity, with more innovation, more agility, and more resilience. Doing more with less doesn't mean working harder or longer. It's not going to scale. It means applying technology to amplify what you can do and ultimately what an organization can achieve amidst today's constraints. Over the past few years, we've talked extensively about digital transformation. But today, we need to deliver on the digital imperative for every organization. And it all comes down to how we can help you do this with the Microsoft Cloud. No other cloud offers the best of category products and the best of suite solutions. And that's what we will focus on at Ignite this week as we walk through the 5 key imperatives. Let's dive right in. It all starts at the infrastructure layer and how we are helping you build agility and optimize your business with Azure. Moving to the cloud is the best way to align your IT investments to scale with demand so that you can do more with less. We see this clearly in our data. Moving to Azure enables cost and operational efficiencies, and we want to help you leverage these savings to accelerate your own innovation. Azure is the only cloud that supports all organizations and all workloads, from enterprises to startups to highly regulated industries. Azure is the world's computer. We have more than 60 data center regions connected by 175,000 miles of fiber, but it doesn't stop there. We want to help you deliver the power of Azure anywhere. That's where Azure Arc comes in. Azure Arc extends the Azure platform so you can build applications with Azure services that can run across on-premise, edge, and multi-cloud environments. As Kubernetes adoption takes off, you can use Arc to run containerized applications with AKS on Azure Stack HCI, Windows Server, Windows devices, Windows IoT, enabling a consistent experience across Azure, on-premises, and edge. And we will enable AKS to run on even more platforms going forward. We also want to help you modernize your infrastructure from the ground up, taking a systems-level approach, starting with compute. Our new Azure VMs with Ampere Altra ARM-based processors operate the highest clock speed of any ARM-based processor available in the cloud today and are more cost-effective and power-efficient without compromising on performance. With new premium SSD V2 disk storage, we offer the most advanced general-purpose block storage solution available, designed for performance-critical workloads like SAP and OLTP that consistently need sub-millisecond latency combined with high IOPS and throughput. Just think about how critical this is when you have a large SQL Server database that needs fast and consistent disk access. And with the new Azure Elastic SAN, we offer the industry's first cloud-native fully managed storage area network service. It offers massive scale and enables customers to seamlessly transition their SAN data estate to the cloud without having to refactor their application architectures. When we say the trusted computing platform for all organizations and all platforms, we mean it. Azure is the only cloud provider enabling highly regulated industries to bring their most sensitive applications to the cloud. Azure Confidential Computing can help you protect data while in use, thanks to enclaves that protect and isolate code and data in a zero-trust environment so that customers can prevent even Azure, as the cloud provider, from gaining access. We provide the broadest and deepest set of virtual machines, containers, and services powered by the latest confidential capable CPUs from Intel and AMD, as well as confidential GPUs from NVIDIA. And we continue to expand our Azure Confidential Computing portfolio with confidential VM node pools on AKS, enabling a seamless lift and shift of Linux container workloads, and confidential VM options on both Azure Virtual Desktop and SQL on Azure VMs. I'm also excited to announce the preview of Azure Managed Confidential Consortium Framework, which allows developers to build, deploy, and manage highly sensitive multi-party applications. Calstone, the largest global funds network, for example, is using the open source framework to confidentially share trading data across the asset management industry on one common infrastructure and develop new digital investment models. We are seeing customers in every industry use confidential computing capabilities today, from F5 for mitigating insider threat risk, HashiCorp for managing customer keys, Signal for protecting customer contact details, RBC for correlating partner data with credit card transactions, Fireblocks for secure blockchain-based asset and transaction tracking, and the Australian startup Carbon Asset Solutions, which is using Azure Confidential Ledger to ensure that carbon credit data they collect remains secure and tamper-free, giving buyers confidence. Now let's turn to data. With our Microsoft Intelligent Data Platform, we provide a complete data fabric from the operational stores to the analytics engines to data governance so that you can spend more time creating value and less time integrating and managing your data estate. Our goal is to provide you with the most comprehensive end-to-end data platform so you don't have to wrestle with the complexities of building and operating cloud-scale data infrastructure yourself. Analytics alone on our intelligent data platform costs up to 59% less than any other cloud analytics out there. And today we're going even further. When it comes to our operational databases, Azure Cosmos DB will now support distributed relational data with support for native PostgreSQL. This offers the best of both worlds, the scalability and the high performance of a NoSQL, as well as the familiarity and the benefits of a relational database. When it comes to analytics, with Azure Synapse, organizations can put their data to work much more quickly, productively, and securely, generating insights from across the hybrid and multi-cloud data sources. We offer out-of-the-box connectors for Azure SQL, Cosmos DB, and Dataverse. And we are working with our partners to deliver more link connectors for even more hybrid and multi-cloud data sources. And with Synapse Data Explorer, we offer a best-in-class solution for real-time analytics so that you can reason over your streaming data in near real time. Finally, when it comes to governance, all of these operational and analytical capabilities I just talked about are fully integrated with Microsoft Purview. With Purview, organizations can scan, catalog, lineage, trace, and configure data management and access policies across the entire data estate. And we know this is a team sport. You'll hear more from Rohan about how we are working across our entire partner ecosystem to ensure category-leading solutions are deeply integrated with everything I've talked about. Now let's talk about our second imperative, delivering efficiency and automation and AI. When it comes to doing more with less, AI is the ultimate amplifier. It's going to change what an application looks like, what the design language of an application is, and how it gets built and how it gets delivered. We are committed to making the promise of AI real for you and doing this responsibly. We've built the next generation supercomputers in Azure that are being used by us, OpenAI, as well as customers like Meta to train some of the largest, most powerful AI models. Azure provides almost 2x higher compute throughput per GPU and near linear scaling to thousands of GPUs thanks to the world-class networking and system software optimization. And for inferencing, Azure is more cost-effective than other clouds, delivering up to 2x the performance per dollar. In Azure, we also offer the best tools across the machine learning lifecycle, from data preparation to model management. Data scientists and machine learning engineers can use Azure Machine Learning to build, train, deploy, and operate large-scale AI models at scale. Azure is also the best platform for PyTorch. At Ignite, we're excited to be launching the Azure container for PyTorch, bringing together the latest PyTorch version with the best optimization software for training and inferencing, all tested and optimized for Azure. And we are helping you build responsibly with tools like our Responsible AI dashboard, which helps you evaluate the performance and fairness of your model. We ourselves, along with our partners, are using all of these capabilities to train state-of-the-art AI models. We're seeing exponential progress in their practical capabilities and are at a real inflection point. We have trained Turing for rich language understanding, Z-Code for translation across hundreds of languages, and Florence for breakthrough visual recognition. The other massive thing we have been doing is our work with OpenAI. We have trained the GPT family of models for human-like language generation, DALL-E for realistic image generation and editing, and Codex for code generation in more than a dozen programming languages. But it's not enough to talk about these models. It's all about applying them and turning these breakthroughs into capabilities for you, which is why I'm so excited to have the OpenAI co-founder and CEO, Sam Altman, with me here today. Hi, Sam.
Hey, Satya.
Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, Sam, we've been working together now for a year or over a year. In fact, I think last time at Ignite is when we first announced Azure OpenAI Service right here. And the state-of-the-art models like GPT-3 and Codex coming together with the enterprise capabilities of Azure have been a real game changer. It's exciting to see so many customers from HSBC and PwC to Shell and Wipro are already applying these models in pretty advanced scenarios like content creation, code generation. And I was wondering, Sam, if you could share some of the commercial scenarios that you've seen and are excited by.
Yeah, thanks, Satya. We're really excited about the wide range of uses that customers are finding for these AI systems. Of course, a lot of companies are using our completions endpoint to help create really compelling content, from web copy to recruiting materials. And recently, we've seen more sophisticated applications that combine multiple AI capabilities for some really interesting use cases. For example, a number of Fortune 500 companies are now using a combination of our embeddings and completions endpoint together to drive powerful search features that significantly improve current processes. Compliance teams can use these capabilities to search complicated external standards documentation and then compare them to their own internal policies. And if they find any gaps, they can even use these capabilities to suggest new language. This is the type of application that cuts time spent from manually comparing documents from many weeks down to hours. Customers are also using that combination of embeddings and completions to help employees quickly find and synthesize answers from across a massive internal knowledge base. For example, Morgan Stanley is building an AI assistant that helps their tens of thousands of wealth managers better support their clients. The assistant combines search and content creation so the wealth managers can quickly find and tailor the right information for every client at any moment. It's using advanced AI technology to deliver deep knowledge.
No, that's so right, Sam. And even that thing about content creation and search both being supported by AI is just fantastic. And today, obviously, we are very thrilled to put even more of these breakthroughs in the hands of customers. We're bringing the power of DALL-E to Azure OpenAI Service. And we want all our customers to be able to apply DALL-E to any commercial use case, whether that's image editing and generation or content personalization and rapid response marketing campaigns. And in fact, we're already seeing some fantastic use cases. For example, RTL, the largest media company in Germany, will create personalized imagery for audiobook and podcast listeners as part of their subscription service. And Mattel has been exploring using the service to spark creativity across the entire organization, from toy design to marketing. And so with all that, Sam, what's there as next frontier for OpenAI in terms of innovation?
It's an exciting time. We take our role as responsible stewards of this technology very seriously, and I know you do too. So we're very excited to collaborate with Microsoft to set the standards for deployments and use of these powerful AI systems across the industry. A critical part of making sure our systems are as safe and as aligned as possible is learning from real-world use. And so our approach is to iteratively deploy our technology as responsibly as we can, learn at each stage, and feed those learnings back into the system to make it safer. We're also working to make our AI systems smarter, more capable, and more useful. We recently open sourced our automatic speech recognition system, Whisper, which can transcribe complex speech more accurately than ever before, like complicated technical terms and accents.
That's so cool. And I know you're also working on something else that's pretty exciting. You want to share that with us?
Yeah, we're so excited to show you how OpenAI is making our Codex models interactive, bringing them one step closer to becoming a real pair programmer. I'd love to show you a little bit of what we're working on. Our latest Codex prototype can explain and debug its own code, learn from mistakes, and make corrections on the fly. Recently, I saw just how powerful this tool could be in a programmer's workflow when I gave Codex a problem I saw discussed online. Let me show you. So first, we asked Codex to calculate the probability that in a single elimination tournament of 8 players, the second best player finishes in second place. This is assuming that the better players always defeat the weaker players in each round. I'm going to ask Codex to solve the problem using a simulation, and we'll see it take my direction and turn it into code. To start, you can see that Codex suggests and then imports the random library to generate pseudo-random numbers. For its next steps, Codex explains its approach in natural language with detailed comments, creating a list of skills of the 8 players and outlining a tournament bracket. For each step, Codex generates and executes the code, and then evaluates its results before moving forward. Now, Codex is writing the tournament's second and final rounds. Codex then checks if this result proves or disproves the initial problem. In this one random tournament, the player who lost in the final match was not the second most skilled player. To estimate the average probability after many games, Codex invokes its simulated tournament 1 million times in a loop. As Codex reasons through this problem, it's explaining each step in natural language. And here it looks like Codex has a slight bug. It's estimated the probability will come out to 0, very unlikely. Codex reviews its code at each step in all real time, so let's watch what Codex does here. The model correctly notices and identifies the issue. Now let's see how Codex manages to resolve it. Even though Codex identified the issue, it still didn't correctly fix it on the first try. With the new condition, the probability is now calculated at 100% instead of 0, still very likely wrong. So it tries again, and now it's going to get it right. Here we see the power of this new model. It evaluates its code, recognizes its own mistakes, and attempts to fix them. With only the problem statement and my single brief instruction, Codex independently solved the entire problem. I'm excited for how this technology will dramatically improve the productivity of software developers, bringing Codex one step closer to becoming a real pair programmer.
Thank you so much, Sam. It's just a real pleasure to be working with you and your team. I'm really excited about the work we're doing together and all the advances to come.
Thank you, Satya.
Thank you. That was just an awesome demo. We're bringing all these advances to our first-party Microsoft services too, including Microsoft Designer, the new graphics design app we announced this morning. We fundamentally believe that AI will not only amplify what we can do, but also augment our curiosity, creativity, and imagination. Designer is your personal design generator, powered by the AI models we just talked about, including DALL-E 2. It creates new designs that the world has never seen before and that are uniquely yours. Consider how useful this could be for a small business, for example, which wants to create images and content for social media posts, invitations, graphics, and much more. We can start by typing just a few words. With just that, Designer immediately generates templates for you based on what you write, and you can get custom-made images based on your ideas. And there's no need to spend time creating a new design on your own or searching through thousands of pre-made templates. As you tell Designer what you like, the design becomes tailored for you. One more click and you have a design ready to go, and you can share with the world however you like. It's pretty fantastic. We're bringing the power of DALL-E 2 in Designer, not just for our own app, but also to our new image creator tool in Bing and Edge. For years, we've been limited to searching for images that are already existing on the web. Soon, you'll be able to turn your own words into images you want to see. But it goes beyond that. We envision a world where everyone, no matter their profession, can have an experience like this for everything they do. That includes sales. We're applying conversational intelligence to Viva Sales to transcribe customer calls and automatically identify highlights and critical follow-ups to ensure better customer service. And Dynamics 365 is using the same capabilities to help sellers identify new opportunities and suggest next steps to close deals. We're also applying these models to transform how people build software, which brings us to the third imperative: innovating with the most comprehensive cloud developer platform. With GitHub Copilot, we're applying Codex to suggest code and entire functions in real time right from your editor, turning natural language prompts into coding suggestions. It draws context from the code you're working on to finish the lines you start and even suggest entire functions. We'll also be rapidly adding some of the functionality Sam showed to Copilot. Just like the rise of compilers and interpreters, we believe AI-assisted coding will fundamentally change the nature of software development, giving developers a new tool to write better code easier and faster. And for users of Copilot, it's already writing 40% of the code, and developers are able to code more than 50% faster. They tell us they feel more fulfilled and less frustrated when coding and are ultimately able to do more with less. And we're not stopping there. We are experimenting with new functionality through GitHub Copilot Labs, like Explain Code, which lets you highlight a block of code and see what it does in plain English. and Translate Code, which lets you select a language and translate the code into it. We'll be sharing a lot more about our plans with GitHub Copilot at the GitHub Universe next month. When we think about the future of building software, it's clear innovation in building great application experiences is everybody's job in the organization. 70% of the new applications will use low code and no code by 2025, up from 25% in 2020. And we are turning low code into no code with the power of AI. We are bringing the same principles and capabilities behind Copilot to Power Platform. With Express Design in Power Apps, you can upload a hand-drawn sketch and it'll be converted into a working app within seconds. It's that easy. You can also describe what you want to do in natural languages, and Power Apps will generate a list of most relevant PowerFX formulas for you to choose from. The code essentially writes itself. And we are going even further, bringing AI-powered Copilot capabilities to Power Automate. You can describe what you want to automate, and it'll generate suggested flows to jumpstart your flow creation. And all that's left for you to do is simply set up the connectors and finalize the flow design. It's never been easier for you to build advanced workflows and automation. The bottom line is it just can't be about data scientists or professional developers in your organization who are building these new capabilities for you. It's about empowering everyone. Think about your domain experts, your developers. For AI to deliver business value, they can't be disconnected. That's why I'm so energized by AI Builder, which makes it simple to add intelligence to applications and workflows you build. You can use pre-built models for common business scenarios like sentiment analysis or invoice processing, or deploy custom models. Today, we're introducing the new AI Builder capabilities, including the feedback loop, which retrains models to continuously improve their performance and accuracy. One of the most common use cases we see for AI is surfacing the right content at the right time. How do you take the massive amount of content in any organization, proposals, contracts, presentations, designs, invoices, legal documents, and use AI to bring it into the flow of work as well as business process? Today, we're introducing Microsoft Syntex, which uses our AI Builder and Power Automate capabilities to automatically read, tag, and index high volumes of content and surface it where it's needed. Syntex includes AI-powered summarization, translation, and auto-assembly and annotation features, and it's of course integrated into Microsoft 365 and Teams. Take a series of PDFs or Word documents in a foreign language, for example, and Syntex will translate them instantly. Open the translated document and Syntex can summarize it, providing highlights and links to the most important information. It's pretty fantastic. Now let's turn to our next imperative, re-energizing your workforce. We are experiencing a once-in-a-lifetime change in work patterns. We're not going back to 2019. We need to accept and find a new path forward. And we need to directly address the lessons we have learned over the past couple of years. Our latest Work Trends Index identifies 3 clear priorities for every organization. We need to stop the endless productivity paranoia. People are working more than ever, but leaders still worry employees are not getting the job done. We need to embrace data over dogma and realign organizations around the most important work. We need to embrace that people come to the office for each other, not policy. And as leaders, we need to re-recruit our employees. Re-recruiting doesn't end when the job offer is accepted. Leaders must continuously help their employees learn new skills or risk losing them. Employees must be empowered and energized to do meaningful work so that they can thrive. To do so, organizations require a new system to build human, social, and knowledge capital across the entire organization. You need to help people feel aligned to the company's mission, purpose, and business priorities. You need to help them connect with each other where they are and wherever they are working. You need to help them continuously build new skills in the flow of work. And you need to have all these things working in harmony to have a workforce that thrives. That's what Microsoft 365, Microsoft Teams, and Microsoft Viva enable. With Microsoft 365, we provide a complete cloud-first experience that makes work better for today's digitally connected and distributed workforce. Customers can save more than 60% compared to a patchwork of solutions. Microsoft 365 includes Teams plus the apps you always relied on, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook, as well as new applications for creation and expression like Loop, Clipchamp, Stream, Designer. And it's all built on the Microsoft Graph, which makes available to you the information about people, their relationships, all their work artifacts, meetings, events, documents in one interconnected system. Thanks to the graph, you can understand how work is changing and how your digitally distributed workforce is working. This is so critical. It all comes alive in the new Microsoft 365 application. It provides personalized recommendations powered by the graph. It brings together all your favorite productivity tools, as well as third-party solutions you choose to add. It's your go-to application for all the ways you work today. Now let's talk about Microsoft Teams. Work doesn't happen in vacuum. You need to be great at sync, async, in-person, as well as remote collaboration. In a previous era, you could get away with one or two of these quadrants, but now you need all four quadrants to be excellent at any given time for work to get done and collaboration to happen. Teams supports all the ways people work today. It has become essential to how hundreds of millions of people meet, call, chat, collaborate, and do business. We've introduced more than 450 capabilities over the past year, and we are announcing new Teams features today at Ignite to help you not only have better meetings, but also to change the meeting culture. This includes Teams Premium, which delivers advanced meeting protection so you never have to worry that your most sensitive conversations might be shared. And also Intelligent Recap, which uses AI to assign tasks during meetings and call out important moments in the recording. Forget about having to attend every single meeting ever again. The killer app, of course, for Teams is the Teams app platform and how it has become the organizing layer for all applications you can use to run your business. Just like mobile devices completely transformed how people consume software, we are seeing collaborative applications in Teams transform how people work together. Collaborative apps represent a paradigm shift on how apps are built. Instead of the apps being the focal point where users go, collaborative apps bring business workflows, data, and insights to where users are. More than 1,600 third-party applications are available on Teams App Store today, and more than 100,000 companies have deployed their own custom line of business applications in Teams. We're seeing leaders from every industry, from Canva to ServiceNow, build apps that deeply integrate Teams and Microsoft 365 across their workflows. 3M has built a Post-it app on Teams to support all the ways people brainstorm and collaborate, including taking notes on Post-its. Handwritten Post-it notes are seamlessly transformed into a digital whiteboard by simply taking a picture. Using the power of the graph, the app assigns tasks, surfaces relevant documents, automatically groups content, and includes relevant notes, all within the Teams meeting experience. SAP is building a Teams app so you can access and update real-time data from SAP S/4HANA Cloud directly inside a Teams chat. And because the experience is built using adaptive card-based loop components, the data can be shared in Outlook and stays in sync across SAP, Teams, and Outlook, making it easy for employees to always have access to the latest information wherever they prefer to work. Adaptive card-based loop components will be generally available next year. Power Platform and Teams also make it simple for anyone to build and deploy collaborative applications. American Airlines, for example, has used Power Apps to build a collaborative application that brings together ground crews with its flight crews in order to speed the turnaround times in its gates. Let's roll the video.
We are American Airlines, and we are the world's largest airline. Every day, just in DFW, we have about 700 to 900 flights taking off. From gate agents, flight attendants, pilots, or behind-the-scenes crew, all of them play a key part in getting you to the right destination on time. Collaboration and communication in a timely manner is very, very key.
It's like orchestrating a musical, only more difficult. What we built previously was an application that bridged the gap between the various work groups around the airports. But it had a problem. The key thing that we're looking for is it needs to be faster, cheaper, and better.
ConnectMe is a hybrid microservice tool layered over Teams and the Power Platform. With the new Teams platform, it's actually gotten to 1/4 of the cost. 20 hours before the flight departs, we create a flight channel and we auto-subscribe everybody who is responsible to get that flight turnaround on time.
There is no end to the type of information that can be passed on.
Let's say you're the customer who has a tight connection. A gate agent could send a message through ConnectMe Teams to say that, hey, this is a tight connection and you need to prioritize these bags or your bags.
We needed a platform that fit into the digital transformation journey that we are embarking on. Teams and Power Apps were perfect for that.
We care for our customers' journey, and time is of the essence. A company like American, this is one of the best things that has happened to us or our frontline.
I just love how American Airlines has used Teams as a platform to connect thousands of its employees to do more with less. When it comes to new collaboration patterns, our approach extends to where people work so you can unlock productivity wherever you are. With Teams Rooms, you are bringing teams to a growing ecosystem of devices and space configurations to help people stay connected and participate from anywhere. And I'm very excited to announce that Cisco will become a Microsoft Teams Rooms certified device partner and runs Teams Rooms on Android natively on their Rooms systems. The certified device portfolio will include multiple meeting devices and peripherals, and more to come. Our approach to space extends to the metaverse and how we're bringing together the digital and physical worlds. We're taking an approach to ensure that all our software can benefit users on all their favorite devices. Just yesterday, we announced with Meta that we're bringing Teams immersive meeting experiences to Quest so you can connect, share, and collaborate in VR as though you're together in person. And today, I'm thrilled to announce the private preview of Mesh avatars in Microsoft Teams globally. Customers will be able to build their avatars in a way that reflects their identity and can represent them in meetings, giving them the flexibility and choice to be present without ever having to turn on a camera. These same paradigm shifts, the digitization of people, places, and processes are happening in the industrial metaverse too. You'll hear from Judson later today about how many of our customers, including Mercedes-Benz, Coca-Cola, Hellenic, Equinor, are using our tools to automate, simulate, and predict any business function or process. And we're not stopping there. We want to help you evolve and manage your space for both hybrid and in-person work. The hybrid workplace today is often too ad hoc. Leaders are being asked to rethink their real estate portfolio with very limited data, and employees are being asked to go into the office with very limited understanding of why they should come in the first place. That's why we're introducing a new connected workplace category and announcing Microsoft Places. We want to help you turn your space into a place. A space becomes a place when people give it meaning. Think about the importance of the Outlook calendar for orchestrating when people meet and collaborate. Places will do the same for where. You don't just say show up for a meeting, you show up for purpose and connection. So we are building a new system to help you create a place, including tools to help you see when your colleagues are planning to come in, what meetings are best suited to be in person, and reserve the right place for you. And for leaders, we provide recommendations on how to transform your space into a place. Let's take a look.
New ways of work hold so much promise, while also creating new challenges. But change brings opportunity, and Microsoft can help. Coordinate where work happens to prioritize your time and maximize in-person connections. Reshape the office experience with intelligent technology. And optimize the places you work to be more dynamic and sustainable. Introducing Microsoft Places. Transform your space into a place, in the office, at home, and everywhere in between.
Microsoft Places will be available next year. Finally, let's talk about Microsoft Viva. When work is increasingly happening anywhere, anytime, the employee experience needs to adapt accordingly. Microsoft Viva is the first employee experience platform for hybrid work. It brings insights, connections, purpose, and growth into the flow of work to empower employees and teams to do their very best. Viva provides one system for leaders and employees to receive actionable insights and feedback, connect the entire company from the front line to the CEO, align an organization's goals, and learn new skills so that they can collectively drive better business outcomes. Just last month, we announced the availability of new capabilities that bring business goals into the flow of everyday work, making it easier to share OKRs and track progress across the organization. Think about how powerful that is. When all your objectives and key results are shared across the organization, everyone gets aligned. Weaver helps every employee excel, and we are also extending Weaver with tailored solutions to meet role-specific needs that every job function needs. For example, Weaver Sales, which became generally available last week, provides sellers with unified view of their activities, bringing real-time CRM data directly into their customer interactions across Teams and Outlook. And we'll have more role-specific solutions coming in the near future. Just like we're building Teams and Weaver and Places for this new era of work, there are two other platforms that I want to talk about: Edge and Windows. With Edge, our mission is to build the most secure and productive browser. Edge, no questions asked, is the best browser for business. Edge makes it easier to protect your organization's data as well as your privacy online. Edge offers the highest rated protection against phishing and malware on Windows, and we're investing in features like website typo protection. I'm also very excited to introduce Edge Workspaces, a complete new experience which enables everyone working on a project to see the same set of websites, web apps, and files in one place so that they can stay on the same page. It's about making web browsing multiplayer. Instead of sending links over email or chat, you can open an Edge workspace and access a shared set of tabs. When it comes to Windows, we're fundamentally redesigning the operating system from the client to the cloud for hybrid work. Windows 11 is designed for the future of work today, and from new PCs we announced just this morning to the expansion of our cloud offering from Windows 365 to Azure Virtual Desktop, Windows continues to evolve to work the way you do. It starts by making you more secure with new cloud-powered features. Enhanced phishing protection helps you better understand whether something is malicious or clean. The combination of Windows Enterprise and Intune helps make your endpoints less vulnerable to evolving security threats. And with Windows 365, we're transforming how you experience Windows by bringing together the power of Windows computers with Azure computing. Windows 365 is a completely unique SaaS offering built for this distributed workforce era. What this means is you can now access your cloud PC directly from Windows 11 taskbar or start menu. And we're also announcing the availability of Windows 365 Government and an Enterprise multi-user plan designed for frontline and shift workers. Panos will share more tomorrow about these and new Windows features and how your organization can benefit. Now let's turn to our final imperative: security. As the pace of threats accelerates, this is a top priority for every organization. Protecting is complex and can get expensive. Every organization experiences this with so many different devices, connections to partners, and an ever-shifting cloud resource deployment. The more agile you become, the more your security team struggles to manage the risk. And the more connected we become, the faster a successful attacker can move laterally through the enterprise to their target. For far too long, customers have been forced to adopt multiple disconnected solutions from disparate sources that don't integrate well and leave gaps. We offer a better option, a natively integrated security solution that is supported by a vibrant partner ecosystem. It starts with Microsoft Entra, our new vision and portfolio for identity and access. It extends to Microsoft Purview, which I mentioned earlier is the future of compliance and data governance, as well as Microsoft Priva to help you manage privacy, and Microsoft Intune to protect your endpoints and manage them, and of course, Microsoft Defender and Sentinel. You get a comprehensive solution that closes gaps and works for you at machine speed. On average, customers save more than 60% when they turn to us compared to a multi-vendor solution. Our approach extends to all clouds and all platforms, and we're investing to protect you. Today, we introduced new innovations in Defender for Cloud, including enhanced security posture management that'll help you focus on the most critical risks and provide built-in multi-cloud security recommendations. The new Defender for DevOps helps you secure the entire development lifecycle and unify DevOps security management across multiple environments. We're also adding automatic attack disruption to Defender to limit lateral movement and help you stop ransomware before it gets a chance to encrypt your data. And we're adding new identity governance capabilities to Entra, providing even greater control over digital identities across on-premise, the cloud, so that only the right people are granted the right access to the right resources at the right time, which is so critical in a world where everything is just one login away. I'll end where I started. These are the digital imperatives for every organization. And what I've shared with you is just a snapshot of what you'll see this week at Ignite. We're introducing more than 100 updates across the Microsoft Cloud in order to help you do more with less. These are your building blocks. Ultimately, it all comes down to the outcomes you drive with these platforms and the tools and how you're able to transform your company, your industry, and the world. Nonprofits are a great example of the possibilities. They are on the front lines of so many of our world's most pressing challenges, and they epitomize what it means to do more with less. We are committed to doing our part to ensure technology can help them help the world. And over the next 5 years, we will double the number of nonprofits we reach worldwide with technology discounts and grants to help amplify their impact. So let's take a look, and thank you all so very much. Enjoy the rest of Ignite.
The problem is unbelievably big. There's a crisis.
Forests provide clean air, clean water. There is so much at stake.
I don't like to lose a runway. That's my target. If you touch runway, touch me.
I wanted to train women in basic computer skills. Now here comes people who train me on how to do it, and they will give me opportunity to train others. It was like a dream come true.
We're now at the forefront of the second Rhino War.
Rangers want to save Rhino. They don't want to be technicians. It's where we started looking at Azure and the cloud.
Because of fundraising and engagement built on Microsoft solutions, Right to Play is going to be able to expand the impact of our programs and impact the lives of many more of the world's most vulnerable children.
I was asking for some type of hope, that you're not in it alone. And Team Rubicon gave me that hope. They said, we're not going to leave you like this.
Y'all were able to save my home. Thank you.
There are so many problems that we can solve with technology. It's only limited by our imagination.